get this thing going, bro. Cause they had to like shit the whole fucking day. They had up with this try again bullshit. Let me explain to you about what happened with the Isley brothers for a minute. It's the Isley brothers. Damn. Let me see what type of beef they go have anyway over some trademarks. Let me explain to you about the Isley brothers. There's an old photo of them dated back to the '60s. It was Jasper. There's Ronald. Oh yeah, it was O'Kelly, by the way. I think that photo was of Rudolph Isley. I think it was Ronald Isley. I think it was O'Kelly Isley Jr. That photo was being taken in 1969. That was from the public domain. The public domain already had this picture, so they got this image here that nobody else even seen before. But the photo was so old, it was like so urban legend. Okay, so the Isley brothers have finally stopped their trademark beef. But the Isley brothers, the Isley brothers have finally settled their long-running legal battle over their trademark, though the details of the settlement can remain undisclosed. Ronald Isley and the estate of his late brother, Rudolph Isley, Rudolph Isley, who have filed a stipulation of dismissal that was in Chicago, Illinois, at a federal court. They had filed a stipulation of dismissal in on Chicago federal court, uh, ending their lengthy legal battle over the trademark the Isley brothers without a court ruling or disclosed settlement terms. The filing is a dismissal with at least prejudice, period. Meaning the estate cannot refile the claims, leaving the trademark registration secured by Ronald Isley in August of 2022 that was active in his name alone. Rudolph Isley initiated the lawsuit in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois back in March of 2023, claiming the trademark was joint property in their long-standing Isley Brothers partnership, that he requested a 50% share of commercial proceeds and an accounting of revenues. Yeah, they got it too. They probably got the money for it. I hope they end this. I hope they can end this beef once and for all, so Ron can go keep the estate. At the time, Rudolph Rudolph was 83 years of age and living in Illinois, while Ronald was 81. He a couple years younger than Rudolph, and living in Missouri. Well, unfortunately, Rudolph had passed away just months after filing the lawsuit, but his estate has continued the proceedings on his behalf here. Rudolph Isley, Ronald Isley, and O'Kelly Isley Jr. have formed a group in Cincinnati, Ohio around 1954. This was like years before Parliaments and Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. The Isley brothers had toured and recorded in their original iteration until 1973 at this point. At that point, the lineup had expanded to include Ernest Isley, Ernie Isley, who had to be Ernest Isley, Marvin Isley, and one of the in-laws, like a brother-in-law, who had to be Chris Jasper. But in 1984, those three have left to perform as the Isley Jasper. Yeah, it wanted to do that. Those three here, they left them. They left all three of them, those three, to perform as the name Isley. But Jasper Isley, I did not know of. While the ownership and the control of the Isley brothers' name has stayed with the group's founding members. Takes you back to 1986. In 1986, O'Kelly Isley passed away without a will, so a court passed his interest in his two brothers. Equally, Rudolph has stopped recording and performing with the group. But in at least 1989, due to the poor health in his brother's death, his brother's death had been so certain, but he remained active in promoting and managing its assets. According to the court documents, Rudolph had also continued to be paid royalties from sales of the group's recordings and from producers licensing samples. And then you had to find something going on with Rod. I don't know what's up with him though. Everything goes with the Isley brothers. I don't know what's up with them, but they finally had to put a stop to it. I hope the I hope he end the beef once and for all. You know what I mean? So he can keep the estate. So I'm trying to put on the scripts on there. Stupid YouTube fucking jacked me on my shit. So I gotta change my approach. Yeah, that happens once in a while. Ronald Isley. Ronald Isley, who was like part of the Isley Brothers group, he moved to dismiss the lawsuit on the grounds that any partnership owning the group's trademark had dissolved when O'Kelly Isley had died. Well, O'Kelly Isley Jr. for one. He died, and that Rudolph had retained no rights to the name after leaving the group. The judge agreed the initial partnership would have been dissolved as a matter of law. When O'Kelly died, as noted in the express agreement to continue, it has been issued, but the complaint had implied a two-man partnership with surviving brothers afterwards and pointed to their continued joint dealings on the group's behalf. By any further, Illinois law presumes that someone receiving a share of profits is considered a partner. However, the case has remained at an apparent impasse since late 2023, but now both parties have reached publicly undisclosed terms and the suit will be dismissed. And Ronald Isley, that man can sing his ass off. Man can sing his ass off, and he's going to continue to perform while he was in his 80s to the sold out crowds, which is a testament to the tenacity of the older legendary musicians. He performed this month at the Dell Music Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he revealed that not lengthy, he had recently recovered from a 5-week hospital stay. That was like 5 weeks. I don't know why he has said he recently recovered from a hospital stay that was for like 5 weeks. Man, that man's been in the hospital periodically. I don't know what's happened with him. Oh, great. We gotta go find some more things to do. I might have to go dip my toes in something else anyway. Yeah, let me see if I can do this, man. I gotta find where to dip my nose. I gotta go dip my toe into something. Let me go to let me dip into the Entertainment Inc. right here. Let's go to oh wow, I did not know that. Make sure that happens these people that did the acting. Let's go to the woman who plays Lieutenant Anita Van Buren on the inaugural Law and Order show. It was from the 1990s. Yeah, she said that the NBC executives had a problem with her big afro. She'll say that I'll go home and fix it. The actress has said that Richard Wolf, they call him Dick, he told her to change her hair before being cast in Law and Order. In Law and Order, but it has nothing but praise for the producer. And she was saying that, oh, he's a good guy. We got we got the lady who plays Lieutenant Van Buren on Law and Order, S. Epata Merkerson. This photo was taken over at the BWFN that was taking place in Georgia. It dates back to previous March. That's from Getty Images here. Let me explain this to y'all about her, man. The actress has discussed being cast as a regular on the Law and Order TV series during an interview with People magazine. She was claiming that creator Richard Dick Wolf told her that the higher ups at the network had wanted her to look different. And Murkerson remembered by saying, Dick called me in and he said, it's your hair. NBC has a problem with your hair. I said, what do you mean? Because I had a big afro. Murkerson had resolved to address the network's feedback. She recalled and mentioned that I said it's the hair. I'll go home and fix it. And I'll come back. And I just did that. The representatives for for NBC, they did not immediately respond to Entertainment Weekly's request for comment. Wolf Wolf wanted to cast Murkerson as Anita Van Buren, who was a squad commander, you know what I'm saying? As soon as he saw her new look, what she mentioned here? What did Merkerson mention by saying that by saying this? She's like, when I walked in, he just looked at me and he said, "That's Van Buren." He said, "That's Van Buren." That's how it started. My relationship with Dick, she explained. This is still a photo of her from the Law and Order show. This is from Getty Images and NBC Universal. No, I forgot. This is from like Getty Images and NBC Universal Photo Bank. That's by Getty Images. Getty Images already had that photo of her from the 90s and beyond. I had nothing against S. Apata Merkerson. I have nothing against her though. See, it goes back to where she made her debut as a detective squad chief. Let me explain it to you here. See, the actress here, Merkerson, she made her debut as the detective squad chief in 1993. It was 2 years after she had guested on the show as a different character. She ultimately played the Van Buren character for at least 17 years, all the way until the series ended its original run. It ended its original run in 2010. In Law and Order, people still watch it, which it's was like so amazing. Let me go read this again. Let me read this again. Let me read this again. Murkerson had reflected by saying, "Law and Order, people still watch it, which is so amazing about the storytelling. You have good stories and good actors, it's bound to succeed." She added that it was a phenomenon, really, and to have been a part of that has really been an honor for me. That's what she added. Murkerson had returned to her theater roots after the series had wrapped in 2010, and eventually heard through the grapevine that Wolf still loves her as an actress. Yeah, Richard Dick Wolf, man, the guy who did created the guy who created the show. He said that he still loves Murkerson as an actress. There's to mention that it is to mention this saying, "Oh, I said, tell him I want a job. Tell him exactly that Apata says that she wants a job, and called me back. I bet you it was 15 minutes later, and he said, if you want to go to Chicago, there's a job." She became a regular cast member of Chicago Med. Chicago Med it was created by the guy who did the creation for the Law and Order franchise, Richard Dick Wolf, and she has remained. Murkerson has been remained on the show for at least 11 years prior, and what has she told people? Like, what that says to me, yeah, she's like, what that says to me is that I have good working relationship with Dick and Peter and Arthur. W. Forney. Yeah, W. Forney. The people that work there, the people that work there, she told people that they know that I believe what we do. They know that I participate and try to do my best in everything. And Murkerson has nothing but the praise for the show's creator, Wolf. The, the world, she said this, and she mentioned this anyway by having nothing but praise for the creator of the show, like Richard Wolf, for instance, and she was saying that the world had. Yeah, I was explain this here. Let me see what I had to rephrase and read this. She said that the world that he put me in, that he allowed me to work in, I have to come with the right stuff. You can't last if you're not doing what needs to be done. But she said this like in writing. It says a lot about my work ethic that he continues to trust that I'll come in and do my best. It says a lot about what he thinks of me as well, which I appreciate. And she concluded by saying that I'll be 74 in November, and I'm still having fun. I'm still having fun. I'm still enjoying the work, and I want to continue to do it as long as I can. It's like I told the kids when we first started, we're going to be here for at least 10 years. This is Dick Wolf. He's a good guy. He's very focused, and the work that he produces, he looks for the best in everyone because he brings the best, and this has been the best. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You can't. Me being me being a content creator and a YouTuber that I became, something got to work for him, and you had to work on your stuff. You had to work on something. Thing got slow. I don't know what's up with this stupid computer. But Merkelson did her job. I did not even have nothing against her for whatever she does. It's her work. I can't discredit her for the work that she do. That's just acting. As far as the Isley brothers thing goes, I gotta finish this. I gotta finish this video here because this stupid fucking PC needs another restart. Thing kept fucking acting like a pussy all throughout the day while I trying to do my shit. I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna end this stream before I had to restart this stupid fucking computer. I'm out, man. Peace.